Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
There she is, never a dull moment. And if you need your piano moved, she can give you advice. It's Rachel Faulkner Brown. She's the founder of Be Still Ministries, and she's speaking. Listen to this. Are you sitting down? She's speaking at the Be Church conference coming up on Friday, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
All
so
right.
excited.
Yeah, this
it's
is
a big
cool.
deal.
Listen to the list. Now, on the top of the list is Rachel Faulkner Brown.
Definitely.
Well, that's our list.
Yeah.
Tony Valdez, who we talked with earlier.
Yeah.
Chris Hodges, who's a rock star. Mike Lynch, who's a rock star.
Yeah,
and
we
so
love
many
Mike.
more. So we were so pumped to see you on that list. I've got to ask you, not that you're not a rock star, but how did you connect with all these peeps?
Well, I didn't. That's what's so funny. I actually sent Heather Lindsay a message because I'm like, girl, oh my gosh. Like, I can't believe I get to speak with you next week. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, I think God, he knows what he's doing. And I don't even know how Tony found out about me. Or I was telling Rick and Dan earlier, though, I mean, I am a storyteller. So I'm like not a preacher. So it's so funny to be on this lineup with like preachers. And so, I mean, I will say, I mean, the insecurity bug definitely is very real because these are my people. These are the people that like I download their sermons,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, oh Lord, you know what you're doing, but I'm excited. I can only be one thing, which is me. And I mean, God's really, I think he's got a sweet word for the church about prophecy and encouraging the body. We don't talk about prophecy that much because it's woo woo and and of course all the prophets have been kind of crucified over the last few months because they said all these things and it didn't and that's not really what prophecy is. I mean,
it's not fortune telling. Yeah,
it's not. And so I think we've kind of missed the boat, and that's what we do at Be Still is we don't call it that, we just call it encouraging prayer. And I think for the church that is having a prayer team to encourage the body. I don't know. I just think it's the secret sauce for any church.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the Holy Spirit's the secret sauce too. But at the end of the day, like, I just think we've got to, it says desire that above everything else. And we don't even know what to desire because we don't know what it is, but edifying, encouraging the body, like that's what we need right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's something that can be done when you teach a body to hear God for themselves. And most people don't believe that they hear God. So I'm excited. It's the model that we use with Be Still, and I think it applies to the church at large. So Tony was like, hey, this is just an encouragement for the church. I'm like, I got that.
Yeah, do that.
You're going to crush it, girl. We're so proud. We're so proud of you. It was like, wow, we've had her on the show. We know her. Dan and I know her.
I know. It does feel like Buddy the Elf, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I know her. I know Santa.
That's
I
very
am like
funny.
Buddy the Elf. But yeah, I mean, it really is humbling. I'm trying not to overthink it just because, God's going to do what he wants to do. And he's just using me in this, 30-minute time slot to do what he wants to do. And so I'm just a vessel, and I just honor the people that I get to speak with. I can't wait to meet them. I mean, which is hilarious.
Well, I know for me, and I am nowhere close to the level you guys are, but what happens is I get so caught up in all of it that I forget to enjoy it. So if I will dial down and just enjoy it and minister from the heart for me,
Yeah.
then it's a win. God takes up, he does what he does, but it's all in, if I get in my head, then I'm just, it just wasn't a good time for me, but you're going to have a great time and you're going to rock the Casbah. So where are you on the list? Do you know when you're speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking at 3, which, I'm kind of glad, to be honest. I'm like, that's good. Like, let's go after lunch. But, I mean, it's fun. I'm going to try and be there, for a good bit of it just so I can hear and listen and take up for myself. I mean, I think God has a word for everybody who comes. And, you know, again, I'm just so proud of Tony for pushing through. I mean, 200 people is how their limit. And, you know, it's a risk. It is a risk to do anything like this. And we just had an event for 65. And I remember freaking out that morning because, you know, 2 of the teachers in Cobb County had passed away. And, you know, I was getting messages, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was like, you know what? Yes, I've never been more sure about a day of equipping, you know, trying to equip the saints and trying to help them to see that, like, life is not over in ministry. Like, we got a lot to do here and more now than ever. And so and we did it, and it was like the most amazing day. So I know that God just like I've seen it with the widows retreats. You know, we've done 6 now in COVID, and and not one woman has gotten COVID since the coming to these retreats. Now, granted, we get tested before, and you know, but so we try and make it as safe as possible. But I do think there's just this supernatural protection when you push through and do like what feels crazy, you know?
Yeah. The enemy would like for you to think that that you just need to give everything up and just stay at home and stay shuttered in, but that's not what God says. That's what.
No. And I can't remember who it was. One of the old, and not like Wigglesworth or one of those, but one of the old, you know, revivalists, and he talked about the bubonic plague and how like it would die when you like put it on his skin. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the way I want to be. Like, I want that to have so no place. And granted, I know, you know, it is what it is. We can beat COVID over the head, but at the end of the day, like, greater is he in me than is in this world. And I don't know. I just feel this just anointing to push through. And I think everybody can feel that, you know, it's just a matter of your mindset. And do you believe that really God is greater than disease? Because he is.
He is. Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's greater than death. And that, you know, y'all probably heard me say this, but the moment that you believe that you don't die is the moment that you really live. And I'm just like, oh, come on, church. Like, let's get that. You know, we don't die. So let's just go out there. Ministry has not stopped because of a pandemic. It's actually more fruitful than it's ever been because people are desperate. I mean, that's what the desert does. It makes you thirsty.
Yeah, come on. And she says she doesn't preach.
Yeah, I was laughing on the inside when you said that. I don't preach. I'm like, wait a minute. When has she not preached when she's been on the show, Dan?
Well, I get excited with y'all. Y'all just bring that thing out in me. I don't know what it is, but it's fun.
one of my favorites was when you preached in the car. Remember that? That was was that last year? That was last year, and you were in the car. And you full tilt boogie preached. It was good. It was awesome. But I was like, wow, I think something was going on in your house. Either you needed quiet or you were moving the piano again or something.
Well, I had 2 kids online and a husband at home working. So it was like, there are very few, you know, you can only go so many spaces in your house to have a quiet space. And so I was like, you know what? The car is just as good as any. And I have that phone mount. So it works great. But yeah, you know, it's been a year for all of us. I mean, I think, you know, we were like, 2021, we're going to turn the corner. And on some level, you know, I feel like people are, I feel like there is such an acceleration. And I know I've said this before, but I just really believe that when ministry leaders are willing, God is just going to accelerate. And granted, I know there's some circumstances where people are like, I know, but like my ministry is kind of over. And I'm like, it's never over. Your ministry is right where you are. And I just feel like God's going to burst so many things. I've just seen it. Oh my gosh, I've seen the miracles with our widows. You know, I get to see that up close and personal with women who literally in 48 hours have a new perspective on life because they've hung out with warriors. Honestly, I mean, the people that you hang out with and that you surround yourself with. I read something recently said, sit with warriors, the conversation's different. And I'm like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so, when they sit with warriors and they see people who've overcome, they're like, I can do this, and I think that's what we get to give to the neighbor to the left and the neighbor to the right. And, we just, God, we have the keys to the kingdom. And for people who don't, they feel locked out. And we're like, no, here is the key. And so anyway, I love what I get to do, y'all. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. And y'all know this. You get to talk to ministry leaders all over, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in any other time. And I know that sounds like I'm talking crazy, but it's the truth. Like I can feel it, and I know what God's doing on the earth, and he's bringing, his people to awareness, and he's waking people up, because we've been asleep. We have been asleep. It has been easy. And now we're in the desert and we're like, oh, dang, I need some water.
That's good. Rachel Faulkner Brown, one of the speakers at the Be Church conference. You can go to bechurchconference.com. It's going to be here in Atlanta at North Star. Mike Lynch is the lead pastor there. He's one of the speakers. Chris Hodges. And let's see, who else is there, Rachel? You mentioned
Heather Lindsay, Heather Love, Cornelius. They had the Go Church here in Atlanta, and Rebecca Lyons will be there, which I'm so excited. I love Rebecca and love Heather and love what they're doing. I'm trying to think who else is on the I can't remember right now, but I'm giving away 2 tickets on my Instagram today.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to come, I would love for them to pop on over and just make a comment, and I'll pick a winner tonight. And that way you can make some plans for Friday.
Awesome.
Now, Dan, I don't remember when we talked to Tony. Help me here, because I'm 60. Did he say they were going to stream it at all, or no? I know it's in a few cities. It's Chicago, Atlanta, and I can't remember the other city.
It seems like he said they were not streaming this one, but I don't remember for sure.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about that, so I would say no. But
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll record it on cassette so that we can listen to it later
on the old VHS tape.
Hey, it's going to be an awesome conference, and we're just pretty pumped. We got to talk to you afterward, because we want to hear all the good stuff that happened.
I know.
We got to go to a break here. We got to go to a break here in a second, but tell us about what's going on besides this for you in 2021. I know Be Still is just cranking. What else is going on?
Yeah, we are. Well, we just launched Father's House with Right Now Media. I don't know if y'all knew that, but we are we've got our Bible study on Right Now Media. So anybody who has access that's listening to this to Right Now and has a code for that, you can access Father's House. It's an 8-week interactive Bible study. And I am so excited. We've got women from Canada. I mean, we just had somebody come through with an order from Canada, and we're actually talking to her tomorrow morning, and their small group, which, I just like the reach that we're going to have with 20,000 churches that we could never have any other way. I'm just so grateful for that. And we launched a store on Be Still to have a little bit of merchandise, which has been so fun for people, and kind of fun for us too. I mean, who doesn't love to pick out some fun little clothes and stuff?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, that's been sweet. But I mean, the biggest thing is that we've launched Father's House so that Karen and I can kind of pull back and work on the next thing, and launch this baby, because we've been working on it for 3.5 years. So we're kind of like, love it, but ready to move on, because it's just been such a labor of love. But I think it being with Right Now Media is going to be, women are so desperate for something more. And I don't think they just want another Bible study where they just learn more stuff. Like, they really are like, help me heal. And can we move aside? Like, can I really go back, and that little wounded girl that's inside of me, that was inside of me, needs healing, wounded little boy inside of y'all. I mean, that person who is still with you today, it's why we get stuck. And so we're trying to help women that way. And I'm so grateful to God that he gave. I mean, we should not be on Right Now Media. Let's be honest. We're like not.
That's an awesome organization.
It is. I mean, they are doing such great stuff. And I'm so forever grateful to David Stidham at Right Now for giving us a chance. Like, I mean, even when we had the call with him, I was just like, what in the world? Like, well, how are we even talking to this guy? So again, like the Be Church Conference, it's like God just is paving a way and opening doors that no man can open for Be Still. We're about to do a partnership with Donor Bureau, which is just amazing. And so I don't know. God just loves the widow. He loves helping her advance. I mean, we're really running two different ministries, but they all kind of work together, which is just a beautiful. We just got back from Steamboat actually last week for our widows retreat. So it's been, I'm up here in the mountains. I'm just like, God, what in the world? I can't believe I get to do this. So it's amazing.
You went to Steamboat. Where is that? Is that Colorado?
Yeah, it's in Colorado. So it was interesting. We won't go back there because altitude sickness is very real. And that was just kind of not on the radar, like needing IVs and oxygen tanks. Didn't think that was going to happen. But, I mean, it was still like an amazing, amazing experience. And the women just absolutely loved it. And I wish I could show you some of the posts from the women who came, just because their life was so transformed. And they really were able to really heal, and we got 20 inches of snow while we were there. So it was like being in a snow globe. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Really.
Well, let's do this. We got to take a break. Rachel Faulkner Brown, she's at the Be Church Conference coming up Friday, bechurchconference.com. Be Still Ministries, real quick, Rachel, how do we get to Be Still? Remind me.
Yeah, bestillministries.net, and then Father's House, if you want to go to that, fathershousestudy.com. So yeah, both of those.
And then Rachel also has a new website called movemypiano.com. If you can help move her piano, just go on there and she'll let you move it for her.
Dan, you're such a comic.
The backstory is that Rachel has a very precious piano that she's had for what, 10? Did you say 10 years? Longer than that, right?
Yeah, 15 years actually, which is crazy.
And you've moved it 8 or 9 times, and it always takes a lot of effort and finances. So maybe we should have a GoFundMe account for that for Rachel. Huh?
Well, fortunately, my insurance is picking this one up since my refrigerator decided to leak all over everything. Oops. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of comical. Like, the piano is $5,000 and I've paid probably 10 to move it.
Awesome.
It's okay. It's okay. It's special.
You're a huge blessing to the body of Christ, and we love having you, Rachel. And on the other side of this, we can't wait to hear all the good stuff that's going to happen. Everybody there is going to just be so blessed by the word that God's given you. It's called the Be Church Conference, bechurchconference.com. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.